Blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings. How are you this evening? Welcome to Womb Wednesdays. This is Ramona Riley, aka the Vagina Lady, and tonight we are doing Womb Wednesdays like what we do every Wednesday, and tonight's topic is real romance. I'm kind of excited to talk a little bit about this. I think this is something that's not spoken enough about, and because of course it's Valentine's coming up and all that kind of stuff, figure yes, why not? Now is a great time to talk about that. So the first thing I'd like to do, of course, is start with prayer, and then after that we're going to get all up into our romance life, or real romance life. Later on at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, I will be answering questions, reading them in the comment section, or if it is that you want to come on and share the camera with me and ask your question that way, you can also do that. Okay, so I'm going to try and make some time for that. So please bow your head, do what you'd usually do for prayer, and I will lead the prayer. Dear God, we all just come to you so grateful for this amazing thing called love. We're so blessed to have an understanding of what love is. Thank you for bestowing that upon us and teaching us that each and every day. We ask you to surround us with your healing energy and your positive energy to help us to be the best versions of ourselves. We also ask to help us to release the things that no longer serve our higher good. We ask for peace in our hearts and in our minds. Amen. Okay. All right. So everyone who's just coming on, welcome to Womb Wednesdays. We are talking about... Ooh, my bracelet just did something. We are talking about real romance, right? And romance is not something that we talk about a lot. We see it on TV, but we don't really live it. A lot of women don't live it. A lot of men don't live it. And so it's time for us to tap into that. Because we'll realize that when romance is involved, it changes the relationship completely. There's even more thoughtfulness. There's more things that happen from a positive side, and the relationship in itself becomes more healthy because, of course, each person is thinking about the other. So I want to start off by talking about romance and what that is in terms of, for me. I never really had a full understanding of what romance was. As I said, I would watch TV and I would see the guy, bring her flowers to her office, or she would come home and there would be flowers everywhere, or the candles and the this and the that, but you did a little of it, but you don't really do it. And it's depending on the man that you have or the woman that you have, you find that sometimes you always have to be the one to be doing this because the other person in themselves is not really that romantic. So romance should be all the time. It's not about Valentine's Day. It's not about any kind of day. It should be something consistent, right? And I need people to understand that there's a difference between romance and thoughtfulness, okay? And a lot of times we don't realize that there is a difference. For example, my husband is thoughtful. He's thoughtful. He's going to think about me and probably get something or buy something for me that he thinks I would like. but he's not going to get candles and light them up in the house and do the petals. And the most he might do is play the music, plan a picnic, and get all the wine and the cheese. And he's just not going to do that. He doesn't do that, right? He's just not naturally like that. And so even though he is thoughtful, the romance aspect is still missing, right? So we have to make sure that we include not just the romance but the thoughtfulness, or not just the thoughtfulness but also the romance. Because when you're going to be romantic with someone, yes, it can change in the different times in terms of how you're doing it, right? But you want to also make sure that it is something for them and not necessarily for you. When you're doing something romantic and you're creating a mood, yes, it can be about you, but sometimes it needs to be about your partner. What would your partner prefer? This is very important. Both people have to be benefiting, or what is the point? No selfishness around here, okay? So with the romance comes the thoughtfulness, or when you have the romance and you bring in the thoughtfulness and you blend them up into one, you find that it makes beautiful, beautiful music, right? Now, when it comes to Valentine's, we find that usually that is when we talk more about romance. That's when we talk more about love, and expressing love. And what I do like is, of recent times, the expression of love is not just about your partner, your sexual partner, or your husband and your wife. They've really been including loving just the people around you, loving not just your mom or your dad, but love to your friends and and so that's important. But this one day thing of Valentine's and giving all of this and spending all of this money and creating all of this around this one thing, I don't know how much of a fan I am about that, right? Valentine's is not something that I personally celebrate. I think that you need to be showing me and showering me with love every single day. I'm sorry, and that should also be reciprocated as well on my part. So the Valentine's thing, I don't even stress about it. I don't do anything about it. I don't buy a card. I don't do anything. I don't expect anything. I'm not doing anything. I just don't. You know what I mean? That's just what it is for me. But there's some people that really, really enjoy Valentine's Day, and this is the time when they can express even more to their partner or to whoever it is that they love them. And so why not? So we are going to go into a little bit of the different ways, right, that we can be romantic with our partners. Now, of course, if it's a man or if it's a woman, it might be a little different because certain men are not into certain things, okay? But for example, let's get into the whole candles thing that I was speaking about earlier. Candles create a nice environment no matter what type of sex you're having. You could be making love, you could be pounding, you could be doing dominatrix, you could be doing any type of sex whatsoever. Candles are always going to heighten it, right? Always going to create this nice feeling, this nice energy around you, right? And of course you can use different color candles, right? I am a lover of white candles, so I'll always have white candles. And anybody that's close to me knows that candles, I have candles all over the place. They're all over the office. They're all they're in my bathroom. Like I'm a candle freak, right? But candles can really create a mood that both parties can enjoy, even if they know that it's because of the candles they're enjoying it or not. It just creates a good mood. Another thing is aromatherapy, and we find that aromatherapy really can heighten that whole sexual energy, but loving energy, but balanced energy, but relaxed energy. You can get all of that out of aromatherapy. And so, or scents, I should say, right? So if you can create some kind of scent in the room, right? Burn some kind of oil that you might like, that might be pleasing to the smell. That would be really good for you. Or you could use certain oils in certain places, like behind the ear, you know, right here on the top of the spine, you know, hair in the crease of the arm, right? I would do back of the leg, a little lower, like closer to the butt, but more in the thigh than the butt itself. Because it's really nice when it is that you are, you know, making love or having sex or doing whatever it is, and you can smell this thing that smells so good. And it's whatever it is. For some people, it's perfume and cologne and that kind of thing. So whatever works, you know. Maybe you know that your partner really likes this kind of cologne, or really likes this kind of perfume. It might not be your favorite, but you know them love it. And so, you know, you buy a bottle, and then, you know, you spray it on yourself or something. These things make a huge difference, right? These things really create more of a great mood. And romance is about mood, okay? That is really what it is. Flowers are also something. Now, of course, again, as I said, everyone is different. So for some women, giving them flowers, that's not romantic. They're not about that. They're not into flowers. They think that was a waste. Like, the flowers are gonna die. Like, what was the point? So if that's the case, then don't. Right? But there's some women that really like flowers and really thinks it's a very romantic gesture to just get a rose, a flower, a whatever. I mean, a potted plant, I'm not sure how romantic that is. I think that's more of a thoughtful thing, unless it is that she's into plants, and so you have gotten her this type of plant that is, you know, an exotic type of plant, or she's been wanting this plant and couldn't find it, or she was gonna get it next week and you got it for her. Like, you know, unless it's something like that, then I wouldn't do a plant. I would definitely do more flowers and buds, right? You can send it to her office. You can send it to, and this, I mean, some men who like flowers too, okay? Not every man. Most men are don't really care about that, but just based off of your partner, okay? You have to think about what it is that they like and what they're into and what they appreciate, right? So flowers is another thing. Music is also something that we can tackle and focus on. And again, you can use different types of music. You can create a playlist for that day that you're going, you know, whatever the case is that you're preparing this whole whatever for. You can even just have a bunch of playlists that, you know, that's what you play, or that's an option. Or just put on something. You might not even have made the playlist. You just put on a playlist that's on YouTube that's already been made by someone else, and enjoy the mood and enjoy the music, and allow the music to take you to another level, okay? It's almost like dancing and making love, or dancing and fucking, or whatever it is that you're doing. It creates more of a sensual and sexual, and it's just more erotic. It's more pleasing. It's going to build up more of a better orgasm, okay? So music is a huge one. Cooking. So cooking dinner, cooking breakfast, cooking something like that. No, that is also extremely romantic. And depending on the person, okay, so let's say, for example, you know, you always cook. It would be romantic for your significant other to cook something for you and bring it for you and set the table and, you know, that kind of thing, or cook dinner for both of you. But make it a little special, make it a little interesting. Now, if he does not usually ever cook, please don't be picky about what it is that he's cooking, okay? Please just be grateful and appreciate it and love on him for that, or her on her for that. But if it is that they do a little thing in the kitchen ever so often, then yes, I would say try and do something that's a little bit more out of the box. Something easy, you know, if you're not like that kind of, chef mentality type of person, but try and do something a little different. Get a bottle of wine, or get a nice juice, or something to enhance the food that you have created. Okay, light a candle, sit at the table, and just create a good mood. You can be playing music there too, right? What's another thing, another awesome thing? And funnily enough, it is something that really intrigues me, is eating food off of each other. I think there's something about that that's really sexy and really, really hot. Really, really hot. There's something about sushi, I feel like, when you eat it off of someone, that's really nice, with your chopsticks, while they lie down. I think there's, I don't know, maybe I'm weird. But that is also an option depending on, what you're into. So keep an open mind. Massage is another thing that I think can be incorporated and create a very romantic, sensual, sexual experience for your partner. And this is something that you can do to each other at the same time, or maybe it is that today is her day, then tomorrow it's his day, or today it's his day, and the next day it's his day, or whatever. If you're whatever type of couple it is, it's one person's day and then it's another person's day, and you're going to share that. Or it can be the same day, but at the end of the day, you want to be able to be reciprocating this, right? And the massage can really be anything. Don't think too hard. It's not about healing the person's body. It's just about loving on their body and just touching on their body and rubbing on it. And you can put a little pressure here or there if it is that you need to or you want to. But it's really just about the caressing and the rubbing. Get some coconut oil, get some almond oil, get some grapeseed oil, and just rub and massage on the person. If it is that it's a gentleman and he's going to be, he can get the oil in his hands, and as he rubs all over her body, he doesn't want to forget about certain places, right? He doesn't want to forget about her breast. He doesn't want to forget about her abdomen, her pelvis, her buttocks, and all of. He wants to do all of that. Okay. Now, if you don't have time to rub down the entire body, do what you can. All right. But if you can rub down the entire body and spend rubbing down your partner for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour, just rubbing them down, you're going to realize that it's going to create such an amazing sexual experience. It brings you guys closer together. Okay. These are things that you can do as a couple. So this is building your relationship in general and keeping the spice and the variety in the relationship. Okay, so massage is great. Bath soaks are fantastic. Now, it can be that you are drawing the bath for your partner. It can be that your partner is drawing the bath for you. It can be that one of you is drawing the bath for both of you to line the tub, just depending on what size tub you have. If you have a garden tub, maybe two of you can hold. If it's a regular tub, yeah, maybe only one of you going to be able to get in there, right? But you want to, being able to create that space, right, where the both of you can lie in there, or you can create that nice environment, throw a few petals in there, drop some essential oils in there, put a little pink Himalayan salt in there and some Epsom salt, and just say, come on, hon, come lie down, in the tub. And then you can, whatever it is that they drink, if it's water, if it's this, if it's that, if it's wine, if it's whatever, if it's tea, if it's whatever, and just get that for them. And you can sit there right there on the floor and talk to them while they're soaking. You can come out the bathroom, and just leave them there to just zen out, play some music, light some candles. But this really helps as well, right? To create that romantic vibe. Now, you definitely want to think about, when you're choosing what you're going to do, what about what's going to make my partner like smile, what's going to make my partner happy, what's going to make my it has to be something like that, right? So it has to be something that's going to make them happy, but then as well it has a sexual connotation as well to it. Okay, that is really what you want to do. Romance is something that should be in every single relationship that is a sexual relationship. Okay, every woman wants romance, no matter what they say, no matter how much they say it's not important and that kind of thing. We might not want it every day, you know what I mean, but you want to know that your partner can tap into that and surprise you once in a while, and of course you do the same as well. Okay, so that's basically all I really wanted to hit on in terms of the points when it comes to romance, right? What I want to go into next is self-love. Okay, and we're talking about Valentine's, and we're talking about love, and we're talking about romance, and we're talking about doing things for your partner and all this kind of stuff. But what about loving yourself? What about the self-love? And that is very important, and we need to tap into that. And I'm going to do a whole live about that in terms of self-love. I have a great guest to come on for us to talk about that, because she actually does workshops helping women to really like tap into that. And it's really important, this self-love thing. It takes you far. It gives you a lot. It allows you to accomplish what you should in this journey, or through this journey. So please don't forget yourself. Don't forget to love yourself. Don't forget to be thoughtful to yourself. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and gentle with yourself. Okay, love on yourself. You don't need anyone to love on you. You love on you. If you love on you and you have a partner, they're going to naturally be loving on you too, because they know that that is just what you do. That is just what you expect. That is what you live by. Okay, so if you live it, you will attract it. Law of attraction. It's just what it is. So please don't forget, when we're thinking about everyone else and showing love to everyone else and appreciating the love that everyone is giving us, also think about yourself and the love that you're giving yourself and the way that you can show yourself love and show yourself appreciation. Okay, it's really important. Okay, so I am going to open up for some questions. If anybody would like to come in on video, as I said, just said, I know there was one a while ago, but they probably came off. You can definitely just request. I have realized, and just you can send in your questions as time goes on. Hi. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit until I see some questions come in. I want to talk a little bit about hormonal balance. The majority of reproductive issues that we would suffer from would be hormonal balance, would have most likely 75% of the time it has something to do with hormones. Something is too abundant, something is not enough. So it is important for us to understand that balancing our hormones is really where it's at. Your gut and balancing your hormones. And in balancing your hormones, you're going to have to get your gut right. Because if your gut is right, your hormones are going to become more balanced just naturally. Okay? Not to mention if you are doing things to balance your hormones. When we talk about balancing the hormones, what we have to look into is the liver, the digestive system. Very important. Okay? So detoxing is important. Okay, detoxing is important so that we can remove whatever we need to, because sometimes it's toxins and waste that is making the hormones go all over the place, right? Sometimes it's that the body is producing too much of a certain hormone or not enough of a certain hormone. So balancing the hormone, extremely important. In balancing the hormone, we can do that in many ways. We can use teas, we can use treatments, we can use tonics, we can use supplements, we can use vitamins, we can use breath work, we can use all kinds of stuff. We can use, okay? It just really depends on what you're willing to do, maybe in terms of time, financial, all of that, okay? But hormonal balance is key to having a healthy reproductive system. And as I said before, that then means that your digestive system is going to have to be healthy for us to be able to have our hormones fully balanced and healthy going forward. Okay, so please, if you're interested in finding out better ways to balance your hormones, send us a DM, send us a WhatsApp message, set up a consultation. You know your hormones are off if your periods don't come or if they come too often, if you have a cyst, if you have a fibroid, you know, if you have endometriosis, if you have adenomyosis, if your periods are long and they won't stop. I mean, these are all hormonal things, okay? So I would definitely say reach out so that we can balance it. We have many ways it can work. Can I take maca root while bleeding? Yes, while on your period? Yes, you can take maca root while you're on your period. Yes, you can. Now, maca root. I suggest red maca, okay? Just if you buy maca root and it just says maca root, I don't want you on that one. I want you on the red maca root. That is what the woman needs. The man needs black maca. Red maca for the woman, black maca for the men, okay? Can we detox while we're trying to get pregnant? Yes. I would always recommend detoxing. Detoxing is important. You want to make sure your body is healthy. You want to make sure that the baby is going to be living inside your uterus for 10 months. You want to make sure it is good. It's a good place for baby to be comfortable, for baby to thrive, all of that. And then, of course, in detoxing as well, it can help you to become pregnant, because sometimes it is a lot of waste or toxins or something like that that is preventing you from getting pregnant. So yes, I would definitely recommend detoxing. When you are pregnant, though, you cannot detox while you're pregnant. Hello goddesses. So detoxing is something that I would always recommend. It's something that is very, very necessary. You want to be careful in the ways that you're detoxing, but detoxing is good. You can do juicing. You can go on like a tonic type of cleanse type of thing. You can use, and of course, that would be like made of herbs or something like that. So I would definitely suggest doing a detox if you're trying to get pregnant, if you're trying to get rid of your fibroids, if you're trying to get rid of your cysts, if you're trying to balance your hormones, if you're trying to do whatever, detoxing is going to be great. Castor oil treatment is going to be good. Clay treatment is going to be good. What else we got? Cellular cleanse is going to be great. You guys can get that on the website if you want. Cellular cleanse is great. It cleans you, but it does not remove the good bacteria from your body, which is extremely important. What are the benefits of red maca? Okay, so red maca is great for fertility. It is great for period regulation, and yeah, those are the main things that red maca is good for. Regulating the period, so the period comes every single month, and also fertility. What do you recommend for low progesterone in a woman? Okay, well, it depends. Well, I would definitely, of course, as I said, she would definitely want to detox. I would recommend the hormonal tea blend for her as well, so that we can balance out. We want to make sure that if the body is not producing the progesterone, that it starts to do so. And also in terms of the estrogen, I'm not sure what the estrogen level is like. Maybe the estrogen level is extremely high, maybe it's not. So I would definitely say the hormonal tea blend would be a great place to start. Also, the feminine divine would also be something great that you could do to help that. Is it normal for my period to still be irregular even though I'm 17? I don't see it even for 3 months. Okay, so if you have not seen your period for 3 months, and there are times when it skips like that, at 17 sometimes it can still do so. Okay, but what I would definitely suggest is to do an ultrasound. Do a transvaginal pelvic ultrasound. If you do that, they can look and just make sure that it's not PCOS that you're suffering from. Okay, so do a blood test. Do a blood test that's testing the hormone level. Okay, and also do a transvaginal pelvic ultrasound. If everything comes back good and everything comes back normal, then yeah, it's just that your body just needs to catch up, and it's fine. I would recommend some red raspberry for sure. Anyway, no matter what the case is, I think you should be on red raspberry. But if you do them and you find out that there is an issue, just send us a DM or a WhatsApp, and then we can kind of like give you pointers or something like that to help you towards that, okay, in fixing that. But yeah, it could be quite fine. You could be really okay. Which is the best detox? I don't know if you can say what is the best detox. Of course, the reason why I like my cleanse is because, as I said, it does not remove the good bacteria from the body. And I find that a lot of times the cleanses just clean everything. They clean every single thing out of you. The good, the bad, the in-between, like everything comes out. And I think that leaves you more susceptible to viruses and infections and that kind of thing, because you have nothing to fight off the bad bacteria or the bad, stuff when it comes towards you. So I'm a little anal when it comes to the actual tonics like that. So the cellular cleanse is something I would recommend. Now you can detox with in the way that you're eating. You can detox in juicing. You can detox through your skin and your pores. So it really just depends on what it is. For me, when I'm going to detox, I detox in many different ways. I'm going to do a detox soak. I'm going to be drinking like a cleanse. I might be doing some dry brushing. I'm going to be doing some castor oil treatments. I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of different things that are good for cleansing and detoxing. So I'm not going to just do one thing. Dog blood bush, does it regulate the period? I'm not a huge fan of dog blood, actually. I think it's extremely strong. It's not every woman that should be on it. Regulating your period, you would be much better off in terms of the health of the reproductive system after with red maca and red raspberry. You'd be much better off doing that. And of course, cleaning. If you cleanse yourself, it very much helps to regulate the period. It helps. Do you recommend taking tablets for PCOS? Tablets like from the pharmacy? Like prescription? If you mean prescription, no. I think if you have a problem, and especially something that can be fixed, it's hormonal, we can fix it. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't know if pills are necessary for any condition that you really have, to be honest with you. But definitely not for PCOS. They're going to give you something, that's still not helping the body be the best version of itself. It's like you're going to have to be on this forever. Your body, all we want to do is give your body a nudge. All we want to do is just awaken the body a little bit, or those certain areas a little bit, so that it can do what it was naturally meant to do, right? So taking tablets and prescription, no, I don't recommend that. But again, to each his own, you know what I mean? What I suggest for PCOS is, of course, changing your diet, coming off of dairy, coming off of chicken, coming off of beef, coming off of liver, coming off of kidney, coming off of any seafood that is not wild caught. I also suggest, depending on the type of PCOS you have, because there are so many different types, at least 3 different types of PCOS. So depending on the PCOS, we would do different things, but we know definitely the ovary or ovaries are under a little pressure. So I would suggest doing something for that. Evening primrose, vitamin C, that will help. And then I would do something for the liver, definitely to cleanse and strengthen the liver. I would recommend something for that as well, so we can remove the estrogen that's in the liver. For PCOS, some have like a male hormone in them that's a little too abundant, and so they have like hair growing in manly places. Of course, with that, I would also suggest the hormonal oil blend, which is something you rub on your body. It's topical. It is not for you to swallow, okay? No digesting whatsoever with the hormonal oil blend. I would suggest the hormonal tea blend, and of course, as I said, detoxing is important. What is your opinion on taking metformin for PCOS? I don't think it heals PCOS. I don't think it heals it. I don't see what the point is. What causes painful periods? Well, it depends. A lot of times it's going to have to do with the uterus, okay? What's going on inside the uterus, the lining of the uterus, just a lot of the uterus, which is why red raspberry is usually very good for that, because red raspberry tones the uterus muscle and makes the uterus muscle healthy and strong. And so you find that you're not having as many painful periods as you would usually if you were on something like red raspberry. So our womb tea has red raspberry in it, but it also has other things as well that helps with the painful periods as well, like chamomile, that really helps to like soften it down. Peppermint, that also helps a lot. But if you have painful periods, that's definitely a sign. That's definitely your body telling you that something is off, something is not right. So if you're having painful periods, you need to hit me up. Okay, let's deal with that. What I can recommend to you also is magnesium. If you're having painful periods, I would recommend, like painful periods, I'd recommend like 1,000 milligrams a day of magnesium. I would recommend. Right? It would help for sure. Hello, Mr. McDonald. How can you prepare yourself for childbirth, meaning not being in labor for hours? Okay, so this is a really great question. There's so many ways that you can prepare yourself, and I did a live about this not last week, maybe the week before, so you can probably check that live out, right? But you want to prepare your breast for breastfeeding, of course. And what I would say is just massaging the breast, using some oil and massaging the breast, and just massaging those milk ducts, right? I would definitely recommend that. You don't have to really mess with the nipple, just really the outer, just the mat, the breast itself. I would also recommend stretching. I would also recommend learning your breathing techniques. Your breathing techniques are huge, which is why I really push a lot of hypnobirthing and a lot of different breathing techniques for my clients that are pregnant, because If you breathe properly, you're going to slow down, you're going to speed up your labor. If you're in a certain position, you're going to speed up your labor. If you're lying down on your back the whole time, your labor is going to go much slower than if you were up and walking or sitting up or moving your legs or something like that. Okay, so that is also something that you can look into as well. What would cause a cycle to change? Well, I mean, anything could cause a cycle to change. It just really depends. Yeah, it would. I mean, when the cycle changes, that's definitely a little hormonal, okay, and that could be from a good point of view or from a negative point of view. When my clients come to me, when they have their period, their length of their cycle, if it's 27 days or if it's 31 days, it always changes by the time they get into their third month of treatment. It always shifts, it always changes, and the reason why it does is because we're balancing the hormones, we're detoxing, and so the body is going to move, it's going to move different. So if the cycle changes in terms of the length of it, it's not necessarily always a bad thing. It just depends on what's going on, and you have to look at that. Okay? If it's going longer, then it's not something I necessarily too love. Unless and if it's going longer, then does it still have a set thing? Like maybe it was 28 days and now it's 32 days, but it's every 32 days. Then I'm not really stressed about that. But if every time your period's coming, it's getting, the cycle is becoming a longer cycle in the past year or in the past 6 months or in the past whatever, then yes, that is an issue and we would want to tackle that. Today I discover hair growing on my chin. Okay, well, if you have a one hair on your chin or a one hair on your neck, that's not really so stressful. It's when you have a bunch. It's like when you have a bunch and you're plucking it and you have to be shaving it and it's all of that kind of thing. That is what really the issue is. So if you're having a one hair or a one, that's fine. But if you find that you have hair on your nipples and you're having hair on the chin and you're having hair, you know, like a bunch of hair, like a bunch, then that's a different issue. If a woman is on birth control injection and is spotting over the period of time, what do you recommend? I recommend her coming off the injection. The injection is making her reproductive system unhealthy. Find a different method of birth control. Why are you on the injection? Is it what? Is it to not have to have a period? Is it because you don't want to get pregnant? Is it because what's happening? But you need to come off of it. The injection is not, no, it's not good. It's not good. It's not working good for you. Great job, hon. Quite for you're more than welcome. What's the best thing to buy from your store for PCOS and enlarged ovaries? Wow. I would say you want to definitely focus on cleansing. You want to focus on the liver. So the cleanse, the liver tonic, that would be good. You want to focus on balancing the hormones. So I'd say the hormonal tea blend. You also want to focus on the ovaries. So I'd say evening primrose and vitamin C. I would also say vitamin D3. You can start there. You can start there. And get on a female vitamin, so our feminine divine is good, so you can get on that too. But if you can't afford all of that, then don't do the feminine divine, and do everything else. What is the best thing to... Okay, just get from your store for PCOS and someone trying to get pregnant. Yeah, so I would say all those things that I mentioned, depending, is your period coming every month? If it's not, then I would also throw red maca in there. But if your period's coming every month, you don't have to do the red maca. What if you went to the doctor and they told you don't have an infection such as, but you still get discharged? Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, getting discharged doesn't necessarily mean that you have a yeast infection or you have anything like that. Is the discharge having a smell? Is the discharge, the discharge could be ovulation. So it really just depends. But having discharge is fine. It's like when the discharge is offensive, that's when the issue is. That's the issue. Okay, so when we look at our periods and we look at the symptoms of our periods, the breast tenderness, the headache, the nausea, the back pain, the cramping, the constipation, all these things that happen, those are all signs, okay? And the period is really not supposed to be doing all of that. Maybe before the period starts and during the period or after the period, there should not be any of that. You should be able to, your period is coming on the 15th and on the 14th and every other day before that, you are quite fine, and then the period comes on the 15th and you're still quite fine, and your period goes for however long and you are still quite fine. You should be having no huge issues, no huge stresses about anything when it comes to the period. You should not be bloated. You should not be suffering from headache. You should not be having back pain and cramps and all of these things. Okay, so again, those things come back to a hormonal thing, and also sometimes just to the uterus itself or circulation, because sometimes there are circulation blockages in the pelvic area, and that can also cause some type of pain, discomfort, bloating, that type of thing. What can be used to shrink a fibroid? Okay, if you're shrinking a fibroid, you have to get a treatment plan. Hands down. I mean, just like PCOS, you've got to get a treatment plan. We got to figure it out, okay? But you can shrink the fibroid. Please, if you have a fibroid, get it taken care of. Get it done. Don't sit there and wait and wait and wait. I had a client today. She had this huge fibroid in front of her, and I mean, yeah, I know we can shrink it down and that kind of thing, but it's really big. So it's like, you know, I mean, we're going to be shrinking this down for a while. I mean, the fact that it's getting smaller and smaller is what's important. But I mean, this is this big thing in front of her, right? And it's tough and it's hard, and I know it's uncomfortable, and it's pressing down on all kind of other things, and it's just this one big mass. Let's not wait for it to get there. Let's not wait for it to get to that place. Okay, if you're told you have a fibroid, you don't even know, you don't even realize, you can't even feel it, do something about it. Do something about it. It's going to feed on you, and it is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Hi. Please save this live. I need to remember what to buy. Okay. The injection ruined my body, causing me to lose both tubes. Oh, Lord. I'm so sorry, goddess. Yeah, I was on the Depo-Provera for a long time. And that was not necessarily healthy for me. But yes, the life will be saved. It's always saved. All of them are saved. But it's not something that you should be on for a long time. It's not something that, you know, it's just not really healthy. I mean, think about it. You're injecting something that stays in you for 3 months, keeps you from not getting pregnant. Most times you don't even get a period. You know, it's just not a healthy thing at all. Not healthy whatsoever. I was on it. I've been on it 3 different times in my life. And the only thing that happened was that I got fat. I didn't get a period. And made my body unhealthy. That was it. And you're not supposed to be on it longer than 18 months at a time, because it actually is really bad for your bones, actually. So think about that. Think about that. Okay, guys, so I just want to give you guys a rundown of what's going on. Tomorrow is fertility voices. If it is that you are seeking fertility and maybe if you're a client of mine or not, Fertility Voices is a free group, and it's a support group, really, supporting each other in this fertility journey. It is a safe space for everyone that is involved. We cry, we laugh, we learn, and of course there are a lot of tips and a lot of healing things that we do there that I don't really do anywhere else. Focusing on fertility in every aspect that fertility can be looked on. So if you are interested in that, please send us a DM or send us a WhatsApp message and let us know so we can register you. Okay. So we have that going on tomorrow. We also are going to be starting some new lives, and that is pretty exciting. I'm very, very excited. I'm going to talk to you more about that next week, but you can look out for some new lives like that. We are going to be doing these lives also from YouTube, starting probably in about 2 weeks or so. So you'll be able to either come on Instagram and watch it, or you can go on YouTube and watch it live, or watch it again on YouTube after, right? So that will also be an option from then on. So really excited about that as well. Yoni toning class is at the end of the month. And pelvic strengthening is at the end of the month as well. Okay, yoni toning is important, guys. Please make sure you're doing it. Make sure you're doing your exercises. Log on to the class. Okay, for the gentlemen, for the pelvic strengthening, log on. Okay, the women do the work they need to do, the men do the work they need to do, then everybody freaking wins. Everybody wins. So please, let's make sure that we are getting the best out of our bodies. We're giving our bodies what it needs, and in return, our body's going to give us what we need from it, right? So you can look out for those classes as well. Now, if anyone is interested in consultations, no matter what part of the world that you live, you can send us a DM, or you can send us a WhatsApp message just letting us know that you're interested in a consultation. Consultations can be done via phone and just a phone consultation, or if you're in Jamaica, you can do a phone and a treatment, in-person treatment. Okay, now if you're not a client of mine but you are buying some products and stuff and whatever the case is, and you haven't done a consultation, that's quite fine, not an issue. But what I would suggest you do is make appointments for hormonal balancing and detoxing treatments. Okay, if you do that, it will really, really help the process. Okay, really help the process. Book your womb massages, book your fertility massages, book them. Okay, you'll find that they definitely make a difference. This hits me so hard. Been ignoring mine so long. Now hysterectomy is a possibility. Been trying to stay positive. Yeah, hysterectomy was my reality as well. But yes, I stayed positive and I tackled it. And you're gonna do the same thing. So if you are having that issue, please, goddess, send me a message so that we can fix this. Okay. Is this normal for my period to come at one point where it's very dark? Okay, so period shouldn't really be that dark. It can be brown, like at the end, but in terms of beginning or during the period, it shouldn't be dark. So yeah, I wouldn't like that. I don't like that. Is not getting a period, is that a good thing? No, it's not a good thing. If you're not getting a period every month, it's not a good thing. You need to be getting a period every single month, unless it is that you just eat so clean and your body is just so alkaline that maybe you might not get a period. But for every other normal human being on this earth, I would definitely say that yes, she needs to get a period. The woman needs to get a period every single month. Yes. If you guys are not following the Vagina Lady, please go to the Vagina Lady and follow her. Please, 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 please. And if you're not following us on YouTube at Cosmic Woman, please do that as well. As I told you guys, if you have any questions, any comments, anything, send us a message, DM us, send us a WhatsApp message to let us know what's going on. If you have any topics that you find that you would like to hear me talk about that I haven't spoken about, you can also send us a message about that as well. The whole point is to bring awareness and educate you guys. So, I mean, I want to give you the information of what it is that you want, what you need. So just let me know. And I will definitely look into doing that. Yoni. A yoni means sacred place. And your vagina is a sacred place. So that is where they get the yoni from. Yoni, it's basically, yes, as they say, vagina, but it really means sacred place. All right, guys, so thank you so much for tuning in. I am really, really excited about all the things that's happening. Cosmic Woman is growing, and I can't thank you guys enough for helping that and propelling our growth. There is just so much going on, and I'm so excited about the future and all the possibilities that are out there. There are going to be a lot of different